This is another episode of the Backstage Sports Podcast. I'm Connor.
I'm JT Harger.
And today we have a super special guest in the building, kicking with us backstage. This guy is a phenomenal human being. We always have great people, but he's a phenomenal human being, super cool dude, super knowledgeable. He is a real estate agent by profession. He also is a former ball player. If I didn't get this right, he stands about, what are you, 6'4", 6'5"?
6'9".
6'9". Sorry to disrespect the height there. 6'9".
Like 5 inches, bro.
I'll probably still dunk on him. But
I doubt that.
He's one of the movers and shakers of Los Angeles, especially in the real estate game. He's currently working with the Clippers, I believe, on some deal that they have, and we'll find out more about this. Some deal that they have moving into Inglewood with their new stadium. Odest Riley, welcome to the show, bro.
All right, thanks for having me on, guys. I appreciate it.
What's up, man? Thanks for Thanks for coming through. So if your people aren't, for those who aren't watching, Odest is hopping out of the car right now. You came from looking at Jets today or something like that?
Looking at some jets. I'm not buying. Looking at how the hours work now to be able to take a jet, because you don't want to be on these regular flights these days with all these crazy people who don't wear a mask.
Right.
True.
Right.
True. Joe, you and I should look into Jets.
I was thinking about calling you earlier and seeing if you were down to, because I had a couple of Jets in mind that I did want to check out.
Okay, yeah, send them my way.
Yeah.
I support this. I think we should go in, grab some jets, and then we can check out the games. We can start going to the games.
Yeah.
And we don't have to watch them.
Yeah, absolutely. So I knew you were in the real estate game. I didn't know you were in the airline game. So how did you get about, like, how did you get in this situation where you're looking at airplanes?
So once again, not looking to buy yet. I'm working on that. On that. But I have a gentleman, Anthony Thurston, with Fly Dream Flights. It's a black-owned company. He has his own plane and he flies. And I showed a lot of interest in it. And I was telling him, I've been having this, I was taking Jet Suite X and I was looking into certain things. And he said, with the commercial real estate I'm doing right now, and with the all the diversity they're looking for in certain things, that it might be open to me being able to be the gentleman that they talk to, or the diversity that they're looking for to be a spokesperson. So
awesome.
Spokesperson possibly, and then fly some, take some flights.
That's awesome. So this is a black-owned commercial airline company?
That is correct.
That is awesome. And what's the name of it again?
Fly Dream Flights.
Fly Dream Flights. That's awesome, man.
But what if I wanted to fly?
You wear your hat backwards, you'll be okay.
Yeah, okay.
Sir, you're gonna have to turn your hat backwards, please.
Yeah, before you hop on this flight. That's awesome. So yeah, go check out Fly Dream Flights if you are looking to make some moves. Okay, so we got a lot to get into. Let's get into it. First and foremost, the Dodgers won the chip.
Wow.
This is the second championship in LA in less than a month, it feels like. I'm down for a joint parade. Like I've been putting feelers out there trying to figure out what's the situation with the parade. Timothy Parker, who we're gonna have on soon at some point, covers the Dodgers for Comcast Sportsnet. His thing is, no way this joint parade thing isn't happening. But how epic would a joint parade be in LA?
That sounds like the epic center for COVID.
Well, of course, it would be a super spreader event if we had it right now. But I'm saying, like, when it's okay to have a parade, how dope would a joint parade be? Like,
that would be insane. We would have to bring in the National Guard just to keep people. It'd be the most Modelo, Corona, and Budweiser ever, and Hennessy ever sold.
Oh, for sure.
That'd be dope. And I think that all the Lakers should wear number 8 Lakers jerseys, and all the Dodgers should wear number 24 Dodgers jerseys.
Oh, that would be dope.
That'd be sick.
That would be so dope. They were. I saw a clip of them downtown. All the Dodger fans were like gathered, just like they did when the Lakers won. And there's like a crowd of maybe five. It looks like 500 Dodger fans, all dressed in the Dodger gear, and they're
all
chanting, all Latino, and they're chanting Kobe. Like they're just down there and they're just chanting Kobe for like a good 20 minutes. I was like, this is dope. This is 2020 trying to fix itself here, trying to autocorrect.
Well, they feel amazing because my Giants won 3 in 5 years and just dominated baseball. So they've just been waiting. You know, it's weird too because I feel bad saying this because I'm a Giants fan. So if the Dodgers are playing the Giants, I'm rooting for the Giants. But I've lived in LA so long and really watched this team like grow from like the nucleus to like Yasiel Puig, all these great players kind of come and go to them getting to the World Series and failing that I was actually rooting for him. And of course, Austin, my son, is a giant Dodgers fan.
Good job, Austin. You know, you can't blame his dad's taste, you know.
He's all about it. And well, you know, that's what I get for raising my kid in LA.
Right.
Luckily he is a Warriors fan though, so I got that.
Oh.
But it was pretty cool seeing them win. I felt good for Clayton Kershaw, and Mookie Betts is my.
He needed
favorite.
that. You said Mookie
solidified his career right there.
Yeah, Clayton needed because he and I'm not an avid baseball watcher, but I watch enough to know that Clayton was having a bad couple postseasons and his reputation was taking a hit.
But it wasn't all on him though. I mean, if you look at it, if you ride a horse the whole way somewhere every year.
Yeah.
And you don't put enough tools around him, when he gets to the end of the line, you want him to have some burst. He's like, I'm dead. I gave you everything I had to get us here.
It never, but and I just had this conversation with somebody the other day. It never is all on one person in a team sport, unless you're in boxing or tennis. It never is all on one person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So boxing is a team sport.
Yeah. But you know what I mean? Like it never. You can never just be like, yeah, it's his fault, and you know what I mean? Especially in a sport like baseball where he might pitch in game 1 and not pitch again until game 4. You know what I mean? Or, you know what I mean? So
he did have some bumpy. He didn't pitch as well in the playoffs as he did sometimes in the regular season. But I thought he kind of dispersed that stuff. But then I felt bad too because I watched this game. Mm-hmm. He came in, I think in relief against maybe it was the Nationals and got rocked, including a big home run. And he was devastated. I just felt so bad for him. He was in the dugout, like just like staring at the ground, like just in disbelief that it ended that way. But you know, now they get the sweet victory.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope for them. So we'll keep an eye out for when this parade can happen. At least let's do a virtual parade and turn up from the house. We had a speaking of a virtual situation, we had a little virtual watch party for the Garbage Bowl, for the podcast. It was a Garbage Bowl watch party for the Eagles versus the Giants last Thursday, which ended. What'd you say?
I think it's background.
Which ended in an epic fashion with my Eagles winning. But the story of the game was the ghost that tripped up Daniel Jones. And I don't know if you guys have seen some of these memes. But if you haven't, we're going to look at them right now. Sucks for those who are listening, but this one meme that we're looking at is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Oh God.
Just go ahead and coming off the top rope, dropping Daniel Jones.
That's what happened.
That's kind of what happened. The next one, I don't know who this guy is, but he's giving him a foot to the back of his helmet here.
This is amazing.
This next one is that Kurt Angle?
The internet is undefeated.
I think it is. Yeah.
That's Kurt Angle with his patented like ankle breaker move, with Daniel Jones in the same position.
Well, see, now they're just lifting him higher and higher in the air.
Yeah. This one, he's like super high in the air, and he's about to get pile drive through a table. So that was cool. This is Booker T with the leg drop on Daniel Jones's head. So the memes were pretty epic, and there's so many more of them.
That's incredible.
But really, the story of of the football weekend for week 7 was Kyler versus Russ, which was kind of dope. I mean, that was a dope game, and Kyler got the upset, which for my fantasy team was a big win. But it felt like we were looking at, the present versus the future. You know what I mean? Like to me, Kyler is like a mini Russ.
Mini Russ.
You know what I mean? And I can see him maturing into Russ. You know what I mean? Into a Russ type quarterback. Their games are super similar. They're kind of similar in stature and everything like that. But what were your thoughts on the Kyler and Russ situation, and how do you see that playing out in the long run? Like, is it too premature to say like Kyler can be Russ, like Kyler can be on that trajectory where he can be a Russell?
If as long as he can stay on his feet and not get hurt, he's a stud.
Yeah,
he's so small. Like, it's so weird seeing him play quarterback, but he's got the arm.
Yeah,
he's got the running instincts, the speed.
He's shorter than the running back. It's crazy sometimes. He's behind the line.
It's
You're
crazy.
like,
now, Russ is built sturdier, and he's probably more of a pocket passer. Not that Kyler can't learn that, but for some reason, I just feel like Russ is built more for long term.
Yeah.
Whereas Kyler might be a 7, 8, 9 year guy. I don't know, but who knows? Like, he was amazing. That game was incredible. That's going to be a rivalry for a long time.
Kyler's a winner. They're both winners. If you look at their pedigrees, they figure out how to win games. And, I mean, he can't be as much of a pocket passer as Russ. He can't see over the pocket.
Right.
So he has to get outside of the pocket.
I was thinking about that. I was like, how is he throwing over these guys?
Right.
He's looking for windows and any opening he can find.
Yeah.
I mean, Russ is only 5'10", so it's that, he struggled with that a little bit too, but
but he's there. I think they're both sturdy, and I think that his pocket game will improve. He strikes me as one of those mobile quarterbacks who can really have a grade A pocket game, like Russ has.
I'm just waiting for that one hit. You know what I mean? Like, just one guy to hit him. Like, who did I see the other day just get leveled? Some guy in the NFL just got, I think maybe it was Jones or somebody else, just got completely blindside pummeled.
Yeah.
But you can't. I mean, at the NFL, that's everybody.
Right.
Everybody is one hit away from being out. And if you put that on a player, then that's the whole league. I mean, look at OBJ.
Well, true,
that's
but Big Ben or some of these bigger guys can handle it better than Kyler Murray, right?
Oh, no, I agree with that. But, I mean, a lot of it's going to come down to knowing your game, knowing when to get down, knowing when to get outside, knowing when to get out of bounds. And also, it's going to come down to the franchise. Good quarterbacks survive because of franchises.
Right.
Yeah.
If they don't spend money on offensive linemen, your quarterback's not going to last no matter how sturdy he is.
Yeah, because Cam Newton is one of the biggest, if not the biggest quarterbacks in the league. And his injury problems isn't because he can't take a hit. It's because he just has habitually had a shitty
10
offensive
times
line.
more than everybody else.
Yeah, he just gets hit more than everybody else. But he's huge. He's a tank. Cam Newton is a tank. It's ridiculous.
Speaking of Cam Newton, he looked awful.
I was just about to say.
Awful against my Niners.
Speaking of Cam, he got benched. He got
pulled. There's a difference.
Well, however you want to dress it up, his ass was sitting on the pine.
He got pulled to the bench.
He got pulled to the bench, and then he sat there.
Who's he throwing to? He's throwing to us. He's throwing to a 40-year-old Edelman.
I agree. He has the receiving core that Tom Brady had even last year. This core is worse. You know what I mean? So I agree that it's, like I said, it's not all on Cam. He obviously he definitely can play better. And I don't read too much into the benching, because to me, I don't think that, this is going to be, something that we see a lot. But should we be looking more into the benching situation? Like, is this a bigger deal than people are making of it?
They rented Cam. They rented him and they turned him into a running quarterback. Belichick does not care about players. We all know this.
Yeah.
Belichick cares about wins. He said, hey, we can get a rental on Cam Newton, the former MVP. I can try to make it into the playoffs. If not, I can figure out who's here and who's not. I mean, they don't have the defense. Think about it. If they just had the defensive players they were supposed to have, defense would hold the scores down and Cam wouldn't have to do so much.
Yeah.
But because they don't have the defensive players, he's out there trying to make plays that he can't make when you have a bunch of bums. You got a bunch of guys from the grocery store trying to catch passes.
He don't even have a running game. So that's killing his running game. You know what I mean? Because at least in Carolina, you know, you had CMC, which forced them to, you know what I mean, to pay attention.
But it's not the running game. It's about stacking the line. The defense can stack the line because even if they had a running game, you don't worry about the receivers. You're not double covering anybody.
Yeah, that too.
The one thing I did see, and I don't know if you guys noticed when Cam was sitting on the bench and Belichick at one point came back and he looked like he was just trying to tell him like, hey, we'll get ready for next week type of thing.
Yeah.
Which in my experience watching the Patriots, he doesn't usually do that. He's kind of like, go sit your ass over there and we'll talk later kind of guy.
Yeah.
But Cam did not look happy.
Yeah.
And it looked like more of a than I was just disappointed in the way I played. It looked like he was pissed at the coach for pulling him and a lot of things. So, you know, you can read a lot maybe more into that than there was, but Cam's a confident guy and Belichick is Belichick. So
I don't trust any player who wants to get benched. If a guy goes over to the bench,
right,
and he's okay with it, that's a bump.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but you said he got pulled, so there's a difference.
No, I mean, he got pulled. I mean, he wasn't playing good.
Yeah.
And, you know, the coach, Belichick's a smart coach. He's like, look, you got to know when to hold him, know when to fold him, know when to walk away, and know when to run. And right now, I don't have an offensive line out here protecting him. I don't have a running game for him, and I don't have a receiver. I'm killing his confidence, keeping him out here. Let me get him out, and we'll rebuild.
That's and that's what I thought. And that's when he went over there, I was like, oh, he's just like, man, we got to get it together. We'll we're getting killed. Let's sit you down, get you some rest, and we'll get you ready for next week. But Cam didn't even look at him. He didn't even look at him.
But Cam did make a comment to the media that he said to himself, if you keep playing like this, this is gonna be permanent. He said something like, you know, he went home and kind of reflected. So I think Cam, you know, understood what was
that
going on.
He told himself that?
He said he told himself that. Yeah.
No.
So
that's reality.
Yeah. So I think, you know, that was very self-aware of him to like make that type of statement and understand like, all right, as bad as my team is, I also can play better. But he looked good in the beginning of the season in the first couple games. So I'm sure that they'll figure some stuff out,
which is why everybody got hyped up because he was looking good.
Yeah, he looked good.
And then,
but you can never trust the first half of a season. The
Right.
defense doesn't know what you're gonna do.
True.
Right.
True.
But I think it's because it was the Patriots. You know what I mean? Like, it was like, all right, they're gonna keep the train moving a little bit, but it's not moving right now.
Yeah, I think they can be better because of Cam and Bill, but that with that team that's around them, they bound to drizzle. Like it's not.
Meanwhile, in Tampa Bay.
Meanwhile, in Tampa Bay, the Bucks put up 45 on somebody.
They're rolling on people right now.
Yeah, they are. And then they just signed Antonio Brown, which
that's crazy.
Good idea or bad idea to sign Antonio Brown?
Great idea. You take him off the field for everybody else. And if he plays good, you win. If he didn't, you get rid of him and nobody else picks him up. That sounds like playing chess to me.
Also what he said.
Here's the thing. My thing with Antonio, right? Like Antonio, as far as a talent, is a great ad, right? Because now who can they double? They can't double, plus Chris Godwin has been injured, so that helps them. But when Chris Godwin is healthy, who do you double? You know what I'm saying? And Brady spreads the ball around enough as it is. So it's not even like, he's going to key in on one person where he can help the defense a little bit with that, like the younger quarterbacks do, which sucks for fantasy. That's why I hate, starting guys that play with Brady, because he's like Brady has also like completely watered down the value of Mike Evans. If you're a Mike Evans owner, Mike Evans went from like arguably the best wide receiver in the league to like he might be a wide receiver 2 in fantasy, you know what I mean? Or
it's difference between when you're just getting numbers though. Like if Jameis Winston is just airing it out to you in a loss, it's like those empty calories.
Well, the thing is, fantasy football is all about empty calories. So all the calories count in fantasy. But on the flip side of it, Jameis Winston was definitely more of a he allowed Mike Evans to be more of a deep threat. Mike Evans, the reason why him and Brady aren't really vibing that much is because Mike Evans is a down the field guy, and much of Brady's throws are in the short range and short to mid. Brady, that's the part about Brady that I will stand firm on. Brady's arm is not what it used to be. And if you look at it, well, he had some, when he had Randy, they were hitting it down the field. You know what I mean? But
he was just throwing it as far as he could, though, and Randy was going and getting it.
Well, he's not even doing that now. You know what I mean? And so that's one of the reasons why Mike Evans' numbers have taken a hit, because Mike Evans is a deep threat guy, and Jameis would at least do that. Jameis, he's gonna throw it to the other team, but he's throwing it deep. He might, you know what I'm saying? So that's the other thing about it too. Like,
so, but I mean, what's better, to be on a team where you're putting up 100 yards receiving a game and a touchdown, and
you're definitely going to win more. I'm not saying it's better. I'm talking as far as fantasy. Like,
oh, I got you.
As far as fantasy goes, if you're a Mike Evans owner, you're probably missing Jameis Winston right now. I know I am, because they don't have a connection.
As far as fantasy goes, I'm missing Dak Prescott, and he wasn't even my quarterback.
You're
400 yards a game.
Because Zeke Elliott is destroying my team.
Yeah, and it's gonna get worse because they don't have a reason not to stack the box at this point with this, with the rookie that's going to be starting this weekend versus the Eagles. Let's go first place. Let's get that win and
let's
solidify.
Talk about these Eagles.
Let's talk about my first place Eagles. Let's talk about them then.
Is a bum.
No, watch your mouth. Whoa, the blasphemy.
People
Whoa.
Why would you guys get rid of he is horrible.
Carson Wentz is the best quarterback in the NFC. He's the best quarterback in the NFC East.
Of the game.
He's the best quarterback in the division. Okay. And talking about injuries.
The best quarterback in the division is home with a broken ankle, but I know what you're saying.
No, Carson doesn't have a broken ankle. He's playing. But the thing about Carson,
you would keep Carson over Dak Prescott if he was healthy right now?
No, I wouldn't. Not right now. But I wouldn't. But I've seen Dak Prescott. I mean, I've seen Carson Wentz play better than Dak Prescott for way longer. That's the thing. Like, I know it's there. And then you look at this Eagles roster, our offensive line is completely demolished. Our top 3 wide receivers, Jalen Rager is gone. Alshon Jeffrey is gone. Deshaun Jackson, our deep threat, is gone. So he's only throwing to the tight end. And Travis Fulgham, who didn't even have a job in 2 weeks ago. Our starting running back is gone. Like, we're in worse shape than we have less talent than the Cowboys do. Yeah. Even when Dak was playing, we had less talent than the Cowboys do.
Baker Mayfield with a better team, with a better coach and staff.
Who? Say it again?
He's Baker Mayfield with a better organization.
Oh, definitely not. Definitely not. Baker Mayfield is worlds away from Carson. Carson Wentz is Wentz is just going through a rut right now, and his team being completely flattened by injuries doesn't help.
Every year I hear Carson Wentz, this is his year. True or false?
Well, yeah, because he has the talent, but it was either him being injured or his entire team being injured.
I'll take Foles every day.
No, why? Foles can't keep a starting job.
But he wins.
When he's a backup, that's the time.
When he's with the Eagles.
Foles is the 80-20 rule. Like, you got your main chick, you don't wife up the side chick, because you can't make her. She's never gonna be the main chick, and that's Nick Foles. Nick Foles is only good when he's the side chick. When Nick Foles has had the starting job, he's always lost it every time. He's never not had a starting job and didn't lose it. So let's be clear.
But he's never been in a position where the coaches were like, you know what, because where you're at and what this is, we have to make it work with you. Like Mayfield, when you're the number 1 pick, or Wentz, when you're number 2 pick, coaches figure out.
He did have that. He had that with Chip Kelly. He had that with Chip Kelly. He did that. They were committed. They were committed to Nick Foles. So he's had plenty of chances. When he got signed in Jacksonville, it was another situation where they sold out for Nick Foles. They thought that he was going to be the guy because how he looked in Philly. He's just not it. He's just not it. It's a different type of game when you are the guy, and Nick Foles doesn't show up when he is the guy.
He's that guy that he can succeed, but you need a really, really, really talented team around. You know, he needs everything right. He needs everything right, and he can win.
Yeah.
That Eagles team when he came in and won the Super Bowl, that was a really good team.
Yeah, it was, and that so
Chicago,
yeah. Plus, but again, that was the year that Carson Wentz was an MVP candidate. If Carson Wentz doesn't get hurt, he wins the MVP. Baker Mayfield will never be confused with a league MVP ever. So that's the thing. There's an asterisk on that, and I love Nick Foles because he won us a championship and playing in the game, but he didn't get us to the championship. Carson Wentz got that team to a Super Bowl. You know what I mean? So let's be clear.
Derek Carr almost won a MVP, and I'm a Raiders.
I don't know about that. I don't know that Derek.
The year he broke his leg, he was leading the MVP race.
I like Derek Carr. I think he's a good quarterback.
He's cool.
He's a good quarterback.
But talent-wise, I don't know about that.
Straight out of Bakersfield.
Speaking of Baker. And Baker Mayfield and his Browns. Odell Beckham is out for the season. So
maybe 2 years. That sucks.
2 years. Is that what they said?
ACL. They're saying for him to be back at his full strength will be almost 2 years.
Damn. I mean,
he'll be 31.
All right, that's not bad for him. I mean, he'll be all right.
Can we say something about Baker Mayfield? He is the MVP of quarterback commercials, though. He's the best actor.
That's all he does. All he does is commercials. All he does is
Baker Mayfield's face on not Baker Mayfield's body. Yes. Score. How about the one where he lives at the stadium? Dude, every single one is hilarious.
Yeah, it is. That's what he does. He's a commercial guy. That's what he does.
Come on. Just stand there.
Yeah. That's what he does. So there was also a big UFC fight this weekend.
Before we go to UFC, Todd Gurley.
What about Todd Gurley?
The touchdown that lost them the game.
Oh, I didn't see that game.
He accidentally scored a touchdown.
He fell into the end zone.
Oh, I did. You know
what? You know what's crazy about that? I watched that same thing happen the night before in a college game.
In the college game, you're like, he's in college. What does he know?
I can't remember who it was, but it happened literally two nights in a row.
Yeah.
But the funny thing was they went over it before the play. They were like, look, we're not going. But I think these guys, since they're a kid, you get the ball and you run to the end zone. So
but he did it. But he did it when he was a Ram. Do you guys remember when
he did when he was a Ram?
When he was a Ram, he did it the right way. Because I remember fantasy owners being like, yo, Todd Gurley was going off, and then he had a chance to score a touchdown, and he just stopped at the 1 yard line because he was having a big game. So he knew better. He just wasn't thinking. That's all. But he hasn't been the same since he left LA for real. So UFC, there was a big fight this weekend. I also heard that there was a retirement. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, Khabib retired. He wants to be the number one pound for pound. He's undefeated. He hasn't lost in 28,
says he's the GOAT.
28, 29 fights.
Says he's the GOAT.
He wants to be done. I think a big part of it is his father died of COVID recently. They were very close. They were both insane. Russian.
So this is more like a Conor McGregor retirement? Or is he done?
No, I don't think. Well, he had said before that the only other fight he wants is GSP.
Yeah.
So I would think he would come out of retirement for GSP. But if it's not that, he just doesn't seem to care. Yeah. But who knows? Who knows? I think losing a parent you're that close with, he just needs time to chill.
Yeah.
I also, for some reason, don't like him. I don't know why. I just don't like him.
Don't like him either.
One of those.
And
I don't like
Bone Jones to me is the GOAT. Even with all the drug issues.
Yeah. I don't care. Do all the drugs, all the stuff.
Yeah.
When he's on, he is on.
Yeah, I'm with Bones. Plus, you know me, I vote for everybody black. Okay, so let's get into the association. So before we get into the association, Odest, tell us a little bit about. I know you were doing something with the Clippers and assisting them with the situation in Inglewood and their stadium. Tell us a little bit about what's going on with that.
So as a stakeholder in Inglewood, born and raised there and having a business in the city, they leaned on some people in the community to just be involved and talking to the Sacramento, talking to the legislators, and trying to get the process moved along. You know, a lot of people were trying to push back on having a stadium in the city or an arena after we already had a stadium.
Yeah.
But that land has been a landfill, just open land with
empty
couches on it for the last 20 years when I was in school.
Yeah.
So it was a really good thing. You know, Steve Ballmer wanted to get his team from being in the basement at the Staples Center.
Right.
And it's a good fit. You know, Inglewood already knows how to host a NBA team. So,
yeah,
you know, I would have loved if the Lakers came back, but if that wasn't the case, you know, even though I've been a lifelong Lakers fan, I just thought it was a really good thing. You know, the Lakers don't pay me, neither do the Clippers. And if somebody can bring some money into my community and help, you know, just bring revenue and change the view that people have of Inglewood, I had to support it. So, you know, a lot of letter writing, a lot of going to Sacramento lobbying, and things have worked out thus far.
So the pushback on the stadium is from the community over there in Inglewood?
The pushback on the stadium is from attorneys who make money on building cases that stop people from doing things. Attorneys make money when things get put in court.
Yeah.
So Madison Square Garden did not want another arena.
Right, because they own the Forum.
They owned the Forum. Right. And who wants competition?
Yeah.
So, you know, Steve Ballmer, he's so rich and he's so smart. He just said, I'll just buy the Forum.
Yeah.
And we'll just keep this ball bouncing, keep this game going.
Yeah. And so what was the stance of the community as far as not wanting the stadium? Because to me, you would think that it would bring business in, it would bring jobs in, you know, it would raise the value of the property. I remember when my sister brought property in Los Angeles, which Odest was the realtor for. I remember, you know, them talking about her being down the street from the SoFi Stadium, and you know, property going up in value when they built the SoFi Stadium and when they're going to have the Olympics there and all this other stuff. And so we were excited to hear that the SoFi Stadium was going up. And then I heard about the Clippers Stadium, and I was excited to hear that, you know, being involved in real estate. So what's their situation? What's the issue there?
You know, that's the main thing. You know,
okay.
I grew up in Inglewood on Hazel, and there's a house my friend Ronnie grew up in from when I can remember. We moved there in '87 until the mid 2000, maybe 10. He didn't own it. His family didn't own it. I didn't realize that. They had been renting all those years. The owner decided to move them out like 2 years ago, and now there's 4 townhouses there that are going for close to $1 million. When you start looking at stadiums and arenas and things like that, it comes down to, you know, who can afford to stay around that stuff.
Right.
You know,
right.
When we're on this podcast, you know, we talk about stuff, and we're relatable to the communities we grew up in, but we have figured out a way to make enough income to where certain things don't affect us as much as some of the people we were raised with, family members and friends and stuff. So stadiums and arenas bring more investors who want people who are going to pay higher rents in these areas. So that's a lot of the pushback. And then people thought that area could have been used for maybe some affordable housing because it was some of the land was owned by the city. But what no one says is that the Federal Aviation Committee had already bought that land years ago, had the houses moved from it because it was a flight path, and they thought it was just unhealthy for people to live under it. So the difference between going to the stadium for a couple of hours in your day and living there for 30 years is how much, you know, how much flight pollution are you going to get on you?
Also, I'm completely against Los Angeles building any more housing. Like, we don't need more people. Okay, we full. It's to capacity. It's already no place to park anywhere you go. Traffic is already the worst traffic ever in the world. Rent prices are high and going up because of the demand. We just need less people here. So I'm down for them.
I'll tell you what, people are leaving, man. I've had so many friends go to Idaho, Texas, New Mexico, Arizona. Born and raised Californians, northern, southern, everywhere is sick of a particular governor in this state and some other things going on. They're leaving.
I did hear that there is a mass exodus happening during the COVID, which is exciting me because, like I said, I'm serious about, like, Los Angeles needs less people just in general. Like, you know what I mean? Just economics, for the, you know, for the environment, for so many other reasons. I did hear that there were people getting out of California for various reasons. Yeah.
Pre-pandemic, that was happening. We were losing about 40,000 people, I think, a month,
Mm-hmm.
and they were being replaced by about 27,000, if I have the numbers correct.
Oh, wow.
And those 40,000 who were relocating to Arizona, Nevada, and Texas, majority,
Mm-hmm.
were being replaced by people who made 3 times the income. So
people, yeah. Well, that's the other thing. It's getting ridiculous to live here. You know, just not only just the cost of living, but real estate. Like people, I have a lot of friends who want to own. And I have friends a couple of friends that, you know, I kind of came in with when I got to LA that left. They got married, got engaged or whatever, and was like, I want to raise a family. I want to own, and I can't do it here. And they were like, I'm going to the South where I can buy a mansion for $200,000. But yeah, so that's another thing, that the cost of real estate and the cost of living has been driving people out. I've been hearing that for a while too.
I mean, it's the weather. You can live in middle America and buy a $40,000 house.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
So when people say, "Oh, I don't want to live in LA," I'm always like, "You can leave."
Yeah. Right. Right.
Nobody's keeping you here.
Right. Right.
We will be fine if you decide to go.
Right.
You can move to Idaho or Nebraska or wherever you want. Buy you a house for $60,000.
Right.
And have no traffic.
Right. And have no traffic. And also have nothing else to do. Okay, so we can talk forever. Yeah.
Boise's supposed to be popping right now.
I guess so.
Where?
But Boise.
Boise, Idaho.
It's the move.
What?
It's the new.
I'm saying it partially joking, but I actually have heard from some friends that moved there that Boise's like a bustling, up and coming little town.
It actually is. The prices in the houses, I think, have doubled almost in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
I'm good. You won't catch me in Idaho unless I'm playing the show, and then I'm out the next day. I want a direct flight in and out. I'm not trying to say we're not hanging after the show. We're not going to the club.
Oh, yeah. Well, I can see that.
Yeah,
I can see that. Idaho and Utah, man.
Yeah,
1% though.
And the 1% are the musicians who were there for shows and then left, like what I'm gonna do.
It's like this. It's like a stock price. It's kind of a fluctuating 1%.
Yeah, it is. It's not a real 1%. So the NBA is discussing the restart, or the new restart, I guess. You know, starting the season
22nd,
the 2021 season. Right now there is a soft open for December 22nd. Training camp will start December 1st, and the draft would be November 18th. Good idea or bad idea? Is this too soon or nah to start the league, start the new season, December 22nd?
Horrible idea.
I agree. That's really bad. That's really bad. This was for everybody, obviously an emotional draining year, but that's an emotionally draining season. And on top of that, you had them in the bubble, which is like, you know, all of us not in the bubble don't have to deal with it. But like that, thinking about that seems very stressful.
Yeah.
Mental stress, emotional stress. It just seems like why
so
are we doing this?
the why is financial. They want to. So the NBA has already lost out on millions of dollars because of the pandemic. Obviously, for obvious reasons, the obviously ticket prices.
And I feel horrible
viewership.
for the NBA. I feel really bad for them.
I mean, they still made in the bubble. They still made 1.5 billion, I think, in the bubble. But that was like way less. The NBA typically makes around 8 billion annually. So
yeah, them stadiums being empty.
That's a lot. It was a lot.
Warriors had to borrow money from the NBA.
So it was a lot. So it's definitely financially motivated. The other nugget is they wanted to start before Christmas because them losing out on the Christmas Day games is also a huge loss as far as finances for them, because that's Christmas Day is big, and they didn't want to lose ground to the NFL or have somebody else pick up that Christmas Day. Christmas Day is supposed to be theirs, and then the NFL has Thanksgiving and everything like that. So completely financially motivated.
And your boy, the second GOAT, said he's not doing it, right?
No, that's not what he said. He's also the GOAT, the only GOAT. But what happened was, I think you're talking about the comment that Danny Green made, which he said, he was on a podcast or something, and he was asked about the start date, and he said, quote, if we start in December, I think most guys are like, I'm not going to be there to have that quick of a restart. He said, I wouldn't even expect LeBron to be there for the first month of the season. So he's saying he doesn't think the stars, and especially guys who played in the finals, you know, that's a 2-month turnaround. If you played in the finals, if you're the Lakers or the Heat, that's a 2-month turnaround. So he's saying that he doesn't think they would show up, but he wouldn't expect them to show up.
Yeah.
It's bad business. I mean, think about this. You took off 4 months, right, where they got to rest and get healthy. Then you put them in like this expedited go. You get through that season, and now you're going to take a quick break, and you're right back in. Yeah. And you're talking about 72 games. How many more players are going to get injured? We're watching them get hurt in the bubble.
Yeah, true.
Your body. Go ahead.
Yeah. I was just going to say, I guess that is part of the reason now that I think about it is the way the NBA is looking at it is, well, most of you guys never even came back because you weren't even in the bubble. So there's you guys, and then there's the bubble teams and the teams that made it all the way to the finals, obviously. But you guys only were in, you were in the bubble, but that was only whatever that was, 2 months, whatever it was. So like they're thinking, oh, well, you just had a shortened season. So now let's get started earlier. Yeah.
But that's all the good players.
I know. It's
I get the NBA's reasoning for it. They're also doing it so that they're not constantly chasing the next season. They want to get in so that it wouldn't be an 82 game season. I think it would be 72 or something less.
72.
So they're also trying to get in and then get out. So they're not running into, because the other thing that made them lose money is they were competing with the NFL, so they lost on viewership in the bubble. They were competing against, these other things that were going on. And so because they were playing at an odd time and there's a lot of stuff happening, they're playing in the middle of summer, all the sports and everything like that. So they're trying to get in and get out so they don't have to deal with the losses that they had this summer. So I get it. At the same time, I also get why it's not great for the players. But it's kind of, to me, it's a rock and a hard place. I mean, I wouldn't want to make that decision. I don't know. I mean, I see both sides of it, and both sides of it to me have very valid points. It's just it's an impossible decision.
Your number one business model is your talent. People watch the NBA because of the talent. Now, if you run your horses too hard and you end up with a bunch of injured players, what then? If LeBron gets hurt, and who else would just finish playing? The guy with his shoulder from Miami, Bam.
Bam.
That changes the whole landscape of the NBA. And now you're using your young talent to injuries they didn't have a chance to heal.
Yeah.
The good news is that it's not the NFL, so I feel confident that they will work out something that works for everybody.
Yeah. They'll figure it out way better than the NFL did, and they're not going to have a bubble, obviously. So that's going to be a higher level of difficulty. So the other part of that is free agency has to happen sometime soon. It has to be sometime next month. So this is all happening very fast because the draft is going to be November 18th, and then free agency is going to happen sometime after that. Speaking of free agency and all the different trade rumors and stuff that's happening, one of the biggest trade rumors that is going on right now is that the Warriors are looking to trade for Bradley Beal. Like or dislike the Warriors trying to bring in Bradley Beal?
I love Bradley Beal. To be honest, I've only seen him play, a full game a few times. He's very good. And I've heard that rumor for a while. And for some reason, it doesn't excite me as much as obviously Giannis. It doesn't excite me as much as thinking about, I love Domantas Sabonis for their team. I don't know if he's on the table. I know Oladipo wants out. I don't know what they'd be looking to do with Sabonis. But you put Sabonis on the Warriors, and they're a contender next year. Absolutely. And there are some other names thrown out there that I really like. But I don't know.
I don't get Beal. How does that mesh?
I don't get the Beal thing because the whole premise of what they're supposed to like about players. Another rumor I heard that I love is Drew Holiday. I love that.
I heard that too.
He D's up anybody. He loves to pass. He can spot up. He can shoot off the dribble. He's a team guy. That's the kind of guy I'd get. Even though he's not considered as good of a player as Bradley Beal, I think he fits the system better.
I also heard that they, they have the second pick in the draft, right?
Yeah.
The other thing I heard, and I wanted to know how you felt about this because this is a little shaky as far as for Warriors fans to me, that they worked out this guy from overseas, Danny Avdija. I'm not. No one's gonna say his name right.
Is he the young guy that's in the draft?
He's in the draft. He's from Spain or somewhere, and apparently they were blown away by this guy Danny Avdija or whatever. To me, that means are they gonna if they were to pick him?
No.
That means passing on.
No, so I think he's from Israel, and I saw some video of him, and I knew they'd like him because he looks like he fits the system. But what, and I've stayed up on this a lot actually. What they're probably gonna do is they're probably gonna deal the number 2 pick, and maybe some other guys, whatever, and move down in the draft and pick up some nice veteran pieces, and then draft that guy, or there's another guy they really like coming out of college. Which I actually don't hate that move, because if you don't love Wiseman, I don't think I like Anthony Edwards a lot. I don't think he's fit for them. I'm not big on Ball. I like James Wiseman, but if they don't love him, then why not move down and move.
And also that team, most of the time, the answer for teams that are veteran guys. With championship pedigree, with championship experience, with playoff experience, the answer to get them over the hump is not a draft pick. It's not a rookie most of the time. You know what I mean? Like that's why LeBron got to Cleveland and was like, yeah, that's nice. Send that number 1 guy packing. Because they're not the answer. You want veteran role players. You want guys with playoff experiences. You want the old guy. You want the Danny Greens and the Bradley Bills
and even though this kid's young, he's already been playing pro for a few years. So I think they like that he'll be ready to come in and produce right away.
But he's not Luka. He doesn't look like Luka.
No, he's not.
Everybody's like, this guy's a killer.
Yeah. He's not
He
Luka.
reminds me of the guy. Who did Detroit pick instead of Carmelo? What was that guy's name?
Something with an O.
That guy.
Oh, Darko Milicic.
Darko Milicic.
And he didn't have a bad career, but when you go that high,
he was. Yeah, he's
got one more championship than Melo does.
How about that? Ooh, we talked about that a couple weeks ago. That's messed up.
Championship thing, guy.
But you know why I don't hate that move either? Is because I didn't realize how good Pascal was. This guy Pascal that they have from
Eric Pascal. Yeah.
This dude is a beast.
Yeah,
but he's 4'11".
He is not 4'11". How dare you? My ex-girlfriend's 4'11". No, he's a beast though. But was he playing the 3?
Remember the guy from Denver? What was his name? Fareed?
Kenneth Fareed?
See, he's not a Fareed though. This dude bangs down low, but he handles. He shoots the 3. He does it all. I like this.
We'll see. I mean, the good thing is he has Green to be around to possibly work on his game.
Exactly.
Yeah. But they got to get some veteran guys.
If they, Joe, what I've wanted. If they got a shot at Giannis, they got to sell the house.
This is not happening.
How dare you? How dare you? How dare you?
JT
dare you?
If stop trying to make fetch happen was a person, it would be JT Harker.
Listen, this is a rumor. It's a real thing.
It's a rumor that JT Harker made up on this podcast.
I did not make it up.
Yes, he did. It's not happening. It's just not happening. He's got to let it go. But one of the other things that we're hearing in free agency was Spencer Dinwiddie. Now, this is one of those back haul situation things where like we see the writing on the wall and everybody's trying to like speculate about it. Spencer Dinwiddie is leaving his representatives at Rock Nation. He may represent himself, but that also leaves the door open for him to join Clutch Sports, which means he could make his way like Anthony Davis did after he joined Clutch Sports to the Los Angeles Lakers for our second straight championship in LA. So
is he free to go right now?
I think he might be. I think he might be a free agent, if not this year, next year. But I think he might be a free agent. Okay. That would be dope to get spent. But pay attention because the situation with when people change agents like this, it mostly happens because they're about to make a move.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that could be. Yeah. So pay attention. I would love to have Spencer Dinwiddie.
You see, they say Rajon Rondo. The Clippers are going after Rajon Rondo.
Yes. That's not. The Clippers got to figure their lives out and stay.
They need a point guard though.
They need a lot of things right now.
No, they really just need a point guard.
They need a lot. No, they need to reshape that roster.
They need a leader.
The roster was good. They just need a real point guard.
They need. I think they need to reshape that roster because I think that they thought that Kawhi Leonard was gonna come in and be the savior, and that playoff P was not gonna turn into way off P, and they were mistaken. I think that they need, to me, playoff.
See what
P,
you did there.
Yeah,
the W,
playoff
the way
P.
off.
Yeah,
like,
I did that.
Playoff,
way off.
I see what you
way
did.
off P. Yeah. To me, way off P is not your number 2 for a championship team. So that's another thing that they're gonna have to figure out.
Yeah, that's interesting.
We'll see. One of the other things that was going on was, did you guys hear about this? I mean, we all know about the beef that was kind of this subtle beef that happens between Shaq and Dwight Howard. Are we
still talking about this?
It's like a, that's what I thought. I thought it was over. Like, cause Shaq will be on TNT and then he'll say something nice about Dwight cause he was doing it during the playoffs. And I thought, oh, they're good now. He was calling him Superman and stuff.
Dude, the thing with Dwight is he goes from just being happy with his role to turning into freaking like just talking shit. Now he's shirtless all the time. He's in people's ears.
He didn't talk shit though. So this is what happened.
No, I'm just saying he's got this new thing of this bad boy. Like he thinks he's Rodman now.
Yeah.
And because he thinks he's Rodman, he thinks he actually contributed mightily to this championship effort.
He did.
Okay, he did contribute mightily.
He contributed some, but not like Rodman.
They lose to Denver without him.
Let's
that
hear,
might be true.
Let's hear what happened. For the people who don't know, what happened was there was a video of Dwight talking in the locker room on his live stream, and then Shaq heard the video and was commenting on it on some other show. Here's the
everybody out there. Don't ever give up on your dreams. You can fucking do it. I swear, just keep fighting. I swear to God, don't ever give up on yourself, man.
You know what I don't like as a player, though?
What's that?
So a lot of players on their little Instagram bragging like they were the reason they got the championship. I ain't going to say no names.
There was a lot of that going on.
I ain't going to say no names.
You don't have to. You don't have to.
Sit your ass down. You didn't do nothing. Stop it.
But I already know who you're talking about.
You know it, too.
I know you know who I'm talking about. Stop it.
There
Front runner.
By the way.
Bandwagon jumper. Stop it. Stop it. Don't be talking to me like you know players. Sit your ass down.
By the way, Lakers front office.
Post one pick and sit your ass down.
By the way, Lakers front office.
Follow your dreams, and I can't do this.
Stop it.
You ain't do nothing.
Seriously.
Oh, wait a minute now. He played a role.
Okay, so
yeah, man,
Shaq went too hard to me. Like, this is what I mean. Like, he wasn't talking shit. He was emotional. He had won his first championship. He's been in the league a gazillion years. And he's holding the trophy. He's holding Mr. Larry O'Brien right there in his hand, the gold Larry O'Brien trophy. He's on IG Live. He's emotional, as everybody was, and he says, "Don't give up on your dreams," like do, which seemed perfectly in line to me. And then Shaq comes off the top rope with "Sit your ass down and take a picture," and that's it. Like, I was like, "Damn, Shaq." It just he went too hard to me.
I mean, Shaq has this is what I don't like. When you play on a team, one of the things is from the first player to the 15th player, everybody contributes. Whether that's by being on the bench and helping get something for the coach, whether it's in practice, you helping me get stronger by guarding me, whatever it is. You showing up for them 4 minutes when I twisted my ankle. That's what a team is. What I don't like about Shaq doing that is Shaq is an all-time great. And if you compare everybody to you when you're an all-time great, that's kind of one of the things, honestly, that I've never liked how MJ was towards players. Because let MJ tell it, Pippen was a bum. Yeah. Sometimes how he talks, it sounds like Pippen wasn't good.
Yeah. That is untrue.
It's not true.
It is true. I say it all the time.
No.
And, I mean, Shaq was one of the best centers to ever play the game. Dwight had a stretch where Dwight was great.
Yeah.
But he ain't Shaq. So he figured out what his role is. He contributed. He helped the Lakers get a championship. And now you still shitting on him.
And he contributed all year. I'm talking about Dwight. I remember coming on this podcast in one of the early episodes because JT can contest to this. When they were talking about getting Dwight in the offseason, I didn't want him. I'm like, nah, I wrote him off. Like he gonna be the class clown. He Mr. Funny guy. And he came in and literally like I don't see us winning a championship without him playing the roles that he played.
We lose to Denver without him.
Yeah, but even before the playoffs, he played big in games, in the regular season, even before the bubble. I remember going like,
wow.
What
it was though? It wasn't even necessarily what he was saying. It was the way he was saying it because he was coming off really over the top. Like
he was emotional. He was crying.
No,
I think.
I know. And that's the thing is like, I think what Shaq wants to see, and that's kind of the old school thing. The guys that didn't even have social media or whatever, there's the one camera. But like, I think what Shaq wants to see is this, and we'll just pretend that this bottle of ranch that I just ate my spicy chicken with is the trophy.
Okay,
I think he just wanted.
But turn the bottle around because we don't have an endorsement with that company. Yeah,
give us money. But but think about this, like just picture this instead of this, I just want this follow your dreams and you can do anything and I shouldn't have this stupid fucking mask on my face. But picture this though, like man, all I gotta say is thank you to the Lakers. Like I kept following.
Nah, bro, I can't go with that. I can't
bro,
ride with you.
I'm just saying. Be emotional, but just be like, when you.
But that's you.
It's so over. No, I know. That's what I'm saying though.
Yeah.
The old guys, they know what they would do. Like if Shaq won a championship with the Suns or the Celtics, he knows what he would do, and it wouldn't be that. You know what I mean? And he knows what he would do. But then again, even when he won it, he was still Shaq, and I'm really.
But Shaq's been a superstar his whole life since he was a freshman in college, and he has a personality that most people don't.
And he has 4 rings. And he has 4 rings.
Yeah.
How about that? And this is Dwight. This might be Dwight's only ring. We don't even know if Dwight's going to be back next year. You know what I mean?
But you don't think it was over the top, though?
No. I thought – no. I honestly – 0. He just won his first championship, and he's been in the league 20 years.
About Dwight Howard 3 years ago, I say he's out of the league.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
He probably didn't even think that he would have a job because when he got picked up by the Lakers, it was late in free agency.
Yeah.
Dwight wasn't an early ad, so Dwight probably thought, I'm going home, and this is it for me.
I think Dwight Howard is immature, and there's something wrong in his brain. And I think that's why when he does these drastic things, like think he's Dennis Rodman, and he does the over-emotional thing, it's like I think he grew up a lot this year, and I think that's why his play matured, and that's why he was able to be such a big role player because it was the Carmelo effect where people didn't think that Carmelo couldn't play anymore. People didn't think that Carmelo was going to fill a role. Right.
And it was the same thing with Dwight. It was like,
the quarterback from San Francisco, same thing. You just forgot how to play all of a sudden.
Right.
One of the things I don't like, and I'm going to say this to you, JT, like it bothers me in professional sports that Jordan, Grant Hill, Kobe Bryant, Steph Curry, they're the standard, right? And because they have the ultimate marketing ability and how they react, every player has to be like that.
Right.
And it's just not true. Yeah. It's because they built their brand around being solid as a rock, never emotion, I'm a killer. You go, that's how you're supposed to be. And that's why, like Colin Cowherd, one of the things I don't like about him, he only likes players who are like that. And for me, I like a Russell Westbrook, a guy who puts it all out there. You know where
I like Russell Westbrook too.
Yeah.
I like Russell Westbrook too.
He's emotional.
But Russell Westbrook, if he won a championship right now, he'd be a top 2 player on the team. It's just I think the old guard is just like, okay, and the same thing with Kuzma doing the Kobe pose. It rubs people the wrong way because Kuzma's over there with the mask and the jacket on, and he's got like the whole thing, like the Kobe thing. It's like, ooh, okay.
That's different to me. That's different to me. Yeah, he's young. He's also young.
That was part of Shaq's rant. Part of Shaq's rant started with the Kuzma thing. He's like, first Kuzma's over here doing the Kobe pose, and then we got Dwight Howard over here, and then he goes into the Dwight Howard thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can see.
So Dwight Howard just pushed him over the edge.
I think that's what it was. Because he had some merit with the Kuzma thing, but the Dwight Howard, he brought a machete to a fist fight, and I'm like, whoa, Dwight didn't even mention you, bro. He didn't even say anything about you.
He went really hard at him.
And he went way hard, like way too hard.
And him and Chuck will do that. They'll just be totally cool. And man, I'm really proud of this kid. He's really matured and stepped up. And then just drop just a leg drop on
And
him.
then they'll go off.
Yeah, and they'll do it to each other. Like
Yeah.
Charles will be given his very valid opinion as an NBA superstar, one of the best power forwards to ever play the game, and Shaq will just go like, "You don't have a ring, sit down."
Yeah. Like super hard.
Let's chill out a little bit.
Super hard. The other comment that was a little questionable that happened was from Kevin Durant. If you didn't see it, there's a graphic up that we have now. The comment was from Kevin Durant. I think he was on a podcast or something. He's talking about Kyrie. He says, Kyrie is better than AI to me. Allen Iverson. Kyrie's better than AI to me. I'm just saying, I feel like Kyrie got more skill. And he went on to
don't
say
want to
more
hear
things
crazy talk
and bloviate.
You and Kevin had the same edibles before you came on, huh?
I wish I could unsee this.
You're a Philly guy.
I'm tired.
Allen Iverson, I take him to a fight with me any time.
I think we need to not allow Kevin Durant or Kyrie Irving to speak like in the offseason at all. Like they should be banned from making comments in the offseason, because this is about the fourth or fifth one we talked about on this podcast alone, and we only been around for a couple months.
Dude,
I feel like in this picture here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I feel like in this picture here, Durant's talking to Kyrie, and he's just like, "Should we just come out now? Like, we should just tell people. Like, we might as well."
Say some crazy shit. Let's just do it, bro.
Let's just do it. And Kyrie's like, "Nah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm still on this flat Earth shit. I'm not sure I'm ready for that next step."
This flat Earth stuff. So
like, these two need to shut their mouths.
It's too much, y'all.
They need to shut their mouths.
This was one of the dumbest things that I've heard him say, next to Kyrie's flat Earth, and we don't need a coach thing.
We just coach this team ourselves.
Oh my God.
We can coach this. We can be coaches ourselves.
I'd love to see that. I'd love to see them come every day and be game planning for the next team, and how they're going to shut down this guy and this guy. Like, I'd really, set up conditioning.
Name some players who play with Allen Iverson.
Bro.
Eric Snow.
Bro, George Lynch.
Aaron McKee.
Matt
Some
Geiger.
of the worst. Allen Iverson took maybe the worst team, maybe only second to maybe that team that LeBron took with Zildjius Ilgauskas. They can battle it out. Allen Iverson took maybe the first or second worst team to the finals in NBA history, bro. NBA history.
Yeah. Their second best.
Allen Iverson with me to a game in a fight, a one-game win anytime.
Over Kyrie any day. Kyrie any day.
Can he shoot as good as Kyrie? No. Who cares? Because you know what? He's never going to lay down.
He's a better leader than Kyrie.
He's never going to lay down.
He's not blowing up locker rooms in his prime.
He's not blowing up locker rooms. Him being a leader off the court translates to him being a leader on the court, and we see that.
He don't like practice either, so he's my man.
He's done more with less. When Kyrie had his own team, they were in the lottery every year. Every year. So, yeah, we're all tired of hearing that. The other thing is you brought up, Odest, you brought up Jordan. Jordan also made a comment. This is going to be the last one of the comments. People were just dropping little dimes all weekend here. Jordan chimes in on now. This is actually something that resurfaced from another interview that he did with, I forget the name of the people. Something with cigars. It was like a cigar aficionado like interview or something like that. He said, quote, "I won 6 championships. Bill Russell won 11. Does that make Bill Russell better than me or me better than him? No, because we played in different eras." Now, this is interesting because I say all the time in these GOAT debates between him and LeBron that you got to bring something other than the 6 rings because other people have more championships than Michael Jordan. So my contention is always like, yo, whatever you do it by, I need you to keep the same parameters for your own argument. Like if it's by rings, then that's cool, but then don't say that Jordan is the GOAT because he had 6 rings, only because you know that LeBron has 4. And there's, people that have more than him.
It's just people's opinion. Like to me, Magic Johnson is my favorite player of all time because I like a winner. Magic won every level in the history of basketball.
Yeah.
And he is the ultimate, I make everybody better.
Yeah.
For me, I love that. one of the reasons I love Scottie Pippen so much, it was the same thing. I love a player who can dominate a game. And you'd be like, he only had 14 points? I thought he had 50.
Yeah.
Like, that to me is an amazing talent.
Yeah.
Now, Michael Jordan, if we go into this, have to assassin, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Allen Iverson, those are my three. And then probably Larry Bird in there because they're coming for you.
Yeah.
And they
It's
have a certain mentality.
Different approach to the game.
It's not even a good personality, to be honest. But if you need to win a game, they got you. But when it comes down to it, like, Kareem is one of the best players ever to step on a basketball court, and we never talk about him because we don't like him.
Some of the old heads do. Some of the old heads that I've talked to say that Kareem is the GOAT.
Yeah.
If you look at it,
I know a lot of old heads who say Kareem is the GOAT.
When there was a video when I was growing up, I'm sure you remember it. Come Fly With Me, right? Michael Jordan video. That was his big video. But the beginning of that video had a little commercial thing for Kareem Reflections from Inside. That was his documentary video. And they have a bunch of scenes when he's winning his last championship. He breaks the scoring record, and Magic is giving him a hug, and they interview him real quick after. He goes, I'm just glad that I'm happy that I'm going to be able to tell my kids one day that I played with the greatest.
Yeah.
So like that, at that era, that time when he was breaking the records and he was still winning championships, and, you know, he won one in Milwaukee, which is, you know, as we know, not an easy thing to do.
I think a big part of this argument that we see now is an era thing. That was the other part of the Jordan quote that I did like, not only just the rings part, but the era quote, because I think what we don't realize is if you've had this conversation with older gentlemen or ladies from other eras, their answer just sounds very different from your answer. If you're a LeBron or a Jordan guy, most of them will say, if you go farther back, they'll say Russell. If you come up a little bit, they'll say Kareem, right? And so I think somebody made a good point when we were talking about this, that we're just in the era where we might, a couple eras, down the line, we're going to be they're going to be saying that it's LeBron, and those guys are going to be saying something else. And because they never saw a LeBron player, they didn't live through that era, they're going to be like, no, it's so-and-so.
In 20 years, people might be saying, like, Luka's the greatest ever or something like that,
Yeah, the eras thing plays the eras yeah, probably not. That might be a stretch. But the eras thing plays a big role because I've argued with a lot of guys who, to me, it wasn't, we weren't arguing stats. We were just arguing nostalgia. And they were just like, well, it's him because I love him. And I'm like, that's a different, we can have a debate, but you can't debate emotion. You can't debate nostalgia. You know what I mean?
If you don't go stats or nostalgia, Kareem, if you just look at it by overall, he was the most hyped player. Only player more hyped coming out of school than him was LeBron James.
True.
Because we forget, he destroyed high school and college. When they change rules for you.
And they changed the rules for him. Yeah.
You're good.
For Kareem?
Yes.
Kareem.
They stopped him from dunking in college. When he was at UCLA, there was no dunking. Because they didn't want him.
Rule,
and
he was just destroying
his
people.
freshman year because of the rules.
Yeah. Another name I was going to throw in there, a lot of people still say Wilt, and they changed the size of the key. Change the size of the key for Wilt.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's real dominance.
Yeah.
We need to change some shit because of you. Think about this. They changed the dribble rule because of Charles Barkley. That's how dominant he was for a 4-year period.
Yeah.
They changed the what rule?
How long you can dribble the ball.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right.
And
that's
the other point to what you're saying, Odest. Notice that every time we move up in eras, the talent gets better. That's the other thing that I don't like to hear. Well, back in your day, the talent wasn't better, and the talent has always gotten better when you got to the eras. There are way more Swiss Army guys out that play today that are bigger, stronger, faster, that can do more. Kevin Durant is 7 feet tall.
Not always. I mean, if you look at Wilt,
Anthony Davis is 7 feet tall and can take you off the dribble, but can post you up, but can also drain threes. And the talent has always gotten better. It's always gotten better.
I think the
notion
skill
that my day is better than yours, it's never been true.
It's definitely mutants out there though, because Ralph Sampson did everything.
I was gonna say the same thing.
Overall, collectively, like there's more.
Yeah, I think there's more guys are coming up more skilled with overall skill sets, but at the same time, the true big men are almost gone too. So you don't have to contend with giant, type of players.
But that's
either.
because they're becoming more well-rounded players. So their value value is more than just standing on the block and waving their
right. But it changes the style of play too. So guys that it's an interesting thing.
Yeah.
But I have always liked that Jordan has always said that, like, because if anyone you would think would be out there saying I'm the greatest ever, you would think it would be Jordan with the giant ego. But he's always been like, man, I didn't play against that guy. I don't know.
Right.
I can't say because I didn't play.
I mean, if we just go talent, look at J.R. Smith. I remember being around Kobe maybe 10 years ago. He thought J.R. Smith would be a great player because if you look at the tools he has.
Yeah,
he had them all.
Yeah.
But you got to put them together. You can't just have talent.
Yeah. But there's definitely the talent has grown and evolved. And there's definitely more talent. Every era you get more talented guys and the talent gets better. It's just a fact of life at this point. Okay, so let's get out here on this. First, Sixers are looking at hiring Daryl Morey from the Rockets. Is this a good or bad idea?
I like it because I think he's always out trying to win now.
I think Daryl Morey is just gonna fuck up the Sixers. I don't think this is a lateral move.
He had the Rockets ready to win a championship.
Nah, they weren't ready to win it. They were winning, but they weren't ready. They were never championship contenders.
No, when
championship.
CP3 got hurt, they were ready to win a championship.
True.
Regular season
they
championship.
did underachieve that year.
They had the Warriors. They had my Warriors beat until he pulled a hamstring.
I'll give you that.
Win it.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that year. I will.
Regular season championship.
Yeah, they're regular season champions. Kanye West was on Joe Rogan. Did anybody hear it?
No, but I have to listen to it.
Please listen to it, and we can go into depth on this. But it was another one of those where there were golden lines all over.
He's been trying to get him on for like 2 years.
Well, he was on, and he was on for 3 hours. It's a 3-hour interview, and he says a lot of things that you would expect him to say. I think one of the things I remember him saying that money isn't real.
It's not.
It's not real.
No, it's fake. It's imaginary.
But I'd love to hear his take on that.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, but we weren't talking about his comment. Wasn't about the actual legitimacy of money in America not being backed by certain. It wasn't that. It was like money isn't real. Like, you know what I mean? Which
it's like a philosophical.
Money is real if you walk up to a car dealership with $30,000 and you hand them money, they'll hand you a car. So that was a real exchange. Like, that actually happened.
It's also very easy to say that when you have a lot of fucking money.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Listen, money isn't even real.
What is this? I don't know what this is. Yeah.
Like air.
Anyway, Stan Van Gundy was hired by the Pelicans. Was that a good or bad hire?
It's a great hire, because if worst case scenario, he gets those young players mentally prepared to be great players. He may not be able to get them further, but he took an Orlando team way further than they should ever went. I think that when he got Detroit, they were too old.
I don't like it because I think that this team is young, and I think that they need somebody with some type of championship pedigree, something that they can look up to. And I think that they need I think that Stan is a little too far removed from the game today.
I think he turns Brandon Ingram into a superstar.
Yeah, I'm going to say this. I think he makes them a lot better. I don't think he's grown up too. Maybe he's a championship coach now, but I don't think that team's a championship team anyway, but I think he turns them into, and I think he gets Zion an actual game plan of what to do when you're on the basketball court. Because right now he catches the ball, he drops his head, and he either dunks on you or he's shooting the three. That's it. There's no game
Mark
plan.
Jackson to the Golden State Warriors.
I agree.
That's interesting.
I agree.
To see.
That's a good one.
The Ravens signed Des Bryant to the practice squad.
Don't care.
Yeah, I don't. There's nothing happening there. There's nothing happening there.
We'll see.
He'll be here and gone tomorrow. Absolutely nothing right there. We're hearing that DeMar DeRozan wants out of San Antonio. That's something to watch as far as the free agency situation goes. And last but not least, if you guys haven't seen the viral Vegas tweet that happened, this guy tweeted out, if you're not watching, the tweet says, Do not stay at the Venetian in Las Vegas. They do not clean their rooms. We found dirty panties, used condoms, wrappers, and dirty used face masks in multiple locations in the room. They almost ruined my relationship and didn't care about the health risks. Is this guy lying? This is what the big thing online was like. Is he lying? Like, is he just bullshitting to get out of a situation where he got caught because his side joint really left the panties and the condoms and everything in the room? Or do you think there's some truth to this?
I believe him 100%. The rooms are so big in the Venetian, the hotel's so big, and without room service, the new COVID rules, I hear all kind of crazy stories.
I think he's lying. I think this is a bold-faced lie. And I'm not going to lie. I judged the book by his cover because I clicked on his profile and I was like, took one look at his profile and was like, he is lying. He looked like an F-boy to me. He looked like he just did all this to really like just lock in there with his girl that like, hey, I didn't do this.
This looks like something I would do, and I would say he's lying. Looks like one of my moves.
Yeah. It looks like he was BSing. Odest, thank you so much for joining the show today. Please tell the people where they can follow you or support anything that you got going on coming up.
All right, so you can follow me on Instagram at ODEST, on Facebook at Odest Riley. My website is ODESTRILEY.com. I am out here doing real estate and lending. One of my passions is definitely, no offense, JT, but looking out for people of color, trying to get them in home ownership because it really is how we get wealth in this country. Yeah. You know, right now the interest rates are so low. If you have the opportunity and you have the income, you should really look into buying something because owning things is how this country has always been the way out.
Yep. Thank you so much, bro. If you guys definitely reach out to Odest, even if you just want some knowledge, he's very knowledgeable, very plugged. And yeah, you want to own, like, you know, even if it's not here in LA, if you're listening from somewhere else, follow him. He's always got great tweets and great posts and stuff. And it's always very informative. Thank you so much for coming on, bro. I am at Joe Connor 33 everywhere. Make sure you like and subscribe to the YouTube and turn on your notifications so you know when we're dropping a video. And make sure that you follow on whatever platform that you watch you get your podcast from, whether it's, you know, Spotify or iTunes or iHeart. Make sure you go ahead and give us a follow on the streaming platforms, even if you never listen on the stream, and even if you never watch on YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube.
We just need those subs.
Yeah.
At JT Harker for everything. I just flew in from Nashville this morning, and I got some fire coming your way.
Fire.
I'm very, very excited about it. Joe's already heard some of it.
Fire.
And I'm super stoked. Track 6 songs, and it'll be coming over next year. So look out for that. And at JT Harker Sports for the sports cards and covering some fantasy stuff.
Dope. This has been another episode. Also go vote and vote early. Vote ASAP. This has been another episode of the Backstage Sports Podcast. Until next time, be safe and be great. Peace.
Backstage Sports.